Hello boys and girls, today we are going to finish up our clay picture frames and I will show you the last few steps in smoothing out your details and assembling your picture frame along with cutting out the opening. First of all, what you need to do is finalize your details. So you're going to be carving in your subtractive design, smoothing out your edges so that you have smooth lines and patterns. The next thing, remember, for additive design is that you are taking your piece of clay, whatever you sculpt. Maybe I want to make a triangle. If you want to attach it onto your frame, you have to score. I didn't show it too clearly in the last video. Scoring is putting little lines in the clay, one direction, and crisscrossing so it looks rough, and it's doing the same thing wherever you want to attach it. I want to put it in this corner, so I need to score as well, making little, you can make little dots or little lines. We just want to rough up that texture and then drip some water on both surfaces. Whoops. Don't rub it to rub out the score marks. That creates liquid clay, which is slip, and then you press it on. And then you can shape it how you want. That ensures that the clay sticks and it doesn't just fall off. So make sure you score and slip. Make sure wiggle your pieces to make sure everything's stuck on. Otherwise, your pieces will fall apart off of your frame. After you add your detail, then the next step is to take the opening square and to cut your opening. This is going to be a little tricky with our wooden tools because they're not very sharp, but I will go around and help you cut through if you're struggling. If it fits to put the paper on it, you can, and you'll cut all the way through very slowly. One single cut, hold the tool way down at the tip so we don't break it, and cut along the edges. If the square doesn't fit, you don't have to use the paper square, but it will help you get a nice shape. I missed a section there. And then what you can do is carefully tip your picture frame up and poke out the inside. We don't need this, so you can turn this in to the bag of clay after you scrape off any little bits of paper you have on that piece. If you have little bits of paper on this piece, don't worry about it. I want to smooth out the edge that I just cut, and now I have my window for my picture frame. Smooth out both sides, and this is pretty fragile now because it has a whole opening in it and we have thin sides. So be very careful when you're moving it. We don't want to bend it too much. Hopefully your clay has hardened enough where it's not very floppy. Mine's a little soft yet, so it's a little tricky to work with. The last step after you cut your opening is on your base piece. We need to attach it to the frame. Make sure you have your name carved. I'm just going to put Miss B. And what you have to do is take your picture frame, and maybe you probably want to work with a partner, and take your base. You can have your name at the bottom. So my name is going to go out towards me, and we want to attach the base to the frame to make an L shape. But we can't just press it on, it will fall off. We have to score on this edge and on this edge. So my score marks will look like this. One direction and crisscross. The messier it looks on that edge, the better it will stick. And I need to do the same thing on the bottom of my frame here. Score both directions. and then drip some water on it. I need to drip water on this side as well. Working with a partner is very helpful, and I'm going to tip my frame up. Look what I did wrong. My frame is supposed to fit on this side, and I scored the bottom. But that part doesn't need to be scored. So, teachers make mistakes too. I need to score this side instead. At the bottom of the back side of the frame, and I'm going to smooth out the bottom, and I'm going to press my piece on the back, and I'm going to, let's see if I can show you. I want to smooth this out so that it blends in and it disappears. I don't want to see that line. So I'm going to keep my frame just like this. Now, will your frame stand up on its own right now? Probably not, because it is very floppy. So what we'll do is we will store them possibly on their side like this, or just on the bottom like this, and we'll stack them up. Make sure you have everything smoothed out before you attach this, because it's very hard to move it around once you have the back attached. And we'll just angle that like that. That will be the last step, assembling the bottom piece of your frame, the base, so that when it's all fired, it will stand up on its own and it will hold pictures.